Hello, cats and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be looking at a unique death mask, which is the Hellwarden's Will, and it does have a rather unique graphic, the same graphic that's on the Horizon's countenance, which is part of the new Warlock set. Although it does look slightly different if you put them next to each other. They do look very similar when put on your character. You can actually take a look at the helmet. Kind of has like a really creepy looking mask on it with like the chainmail on the sides. It's pretty neat. Pretty neat little graphic there, that's for sure. And it's got some neat effects on it too. I have the rolls for it, thanks to Leon. Leon sent me a picture of the rolls. So these are the rolls. We're going to take a look at these in a second. Now, the Horizon's, or rather the Hellwarden's Will, has +1 to all skills. It is in a death mask, so it has really low strength requirement, only 55. I suppose you could probably upgrade this, I think, to the demon mask or something like that. Probably increase the defense by a little bit. It's got 20% increased attack speed, 20% increased faster cast rate. So it has both increased attack speed and faster cast rate, which is really nice. It also has negative enemy magic resistance and negative enemy fire resistance, which does actually roll, as I just pulled up on the stream here. It rolls between 5 to 8% enemy magic and 5 to 8% enemy fire. So if you find an 8 in either category, you're going to have a really solid helmet for a lot of characters. An 8 for magic would be really good for the Abyss side, and 8 for fire would be really good for the Ring of Fire side. Not only that, but it's not restricted to the Warlock or anything, so this would actually be really good for a Bone Necromancer. It could be really good for a like a fire sorceress. Could be really good for a lot of different characters that like a Hammerton. And I think a lot of people are probably going to look at this and be like, ooh, fancy. Not to mention it also gets a socket. And with a socket, you can add a facet. There is a really amazing facet that you can get now. It is called the Stone Ward, the Protector Stone, and it comes from the new Ancients, Uber Ancients or Colossal Ancients or whatever you want to call them, and it's actually pretty nice. This particular one has negative 8% enemy physical resistance, but you can get magic ones, you can get fire ones, you can get all sorts of good ones, and they come with some pretty neat effects. You could also potentially just throw a regular old -5, +5 facet in there, like a fire facet, but there is no magic facet, so that's interesting. It also comes with a decent amount of enhanced defense, which does roll pretty well between 150 to 215%. So this could have some pretty nice defense, especially if you upgrade it to its higher version. And then it has between 4 to 6 mana after each kill, which is really nice as well. Mana after each kill is great for caster types. It's great for anybody, but it's specifically great for caster types. Now, this particular helmet, I think it's going to be pretty popular. It has the appropriate stats that are required to really make it into a high-tier helmet, sort of similar to Griffin's Eye Diadem, although not quite as powerful. But then again, it does have increased attack speed and faster cast with plus the skills and negative res of 2 types, which is going to make it very popular for magic builders and also fire builders as a very good alternative option. Fire, for instance, has access to the flickering flame, which is negative 15%, which is more, but technically it doesn't have any faster cast on it or increased attack speed, so this offers an interesting intermediary option for a build that might require that faster cast or require that increased attack speed to make their build work. So keep that in mind. I mean, overall, I'm really impressed with it as an item because it offers a lot of utility to a lot of different characters. I mean, if we were to count on one hand, I don't even think we would have enough fingers, but it's really good for a fire sorceress. Really good for a fire necromancer, which I've built before. Really good for a bone necromancer. Really good for a fire trap sin. Really good for a berserk barb. Could be decent for a berserk barb because of the magic resistance. Really good for a trying to think here on top of my head. There's a lot of different like classes and builds. Magic damage, specifically fire resistance, Holy Fire Paladin. Could also be pretty good for an Enchantress. Could be pretty good for a Holy Fire Strider. Could be good for the new Fire Warlock with the minions, not just the Fire Warlock with the like Apocalypse and whatnot. There's like a Fire minion build. It's definitely a very interesting helmet, and it's probably going to be expensive, especially if you get in like an 8% with decent defense. I think it's probably going to be one of the more expensive helmets on the season, depending, of course, how easy it is to come by. That could also be a factor. I don't know exactly how easy it's going to be to find one of these. We could, of course, upgrade it to see how much defense it goes to, but instead of upgrading it, let's just take a look at the bases. Let me see. Death Mask, D2R. We've got upgrades to the Demon Head. So the Demon Head has a maximum defense of 154. And we got 154 plus. And we have the maximum defense here, which is 215% enhanced. So assuming you had a perfect 215, upgraded, that would be 485. So the highest defense that's going to go to is 485, and that's pretty darn good, to be perfectly honest. It might actually be worth the upgrade. It's only a strength requirement of 102, which is well below most other items in the game, so I can't really see that being a big issue. So I can definitely see this as an item that's probably going to end up getting upgraded for the extra defense, especially if you're running things like Fortitude, Chilling Armor, and whatnot. It's definitely going to be a good one for sure. I like it. I like it. I think a lot of people are going to like it, and I think a lot of people are going to try and find one in good condition, socket it, upgrade it, and put it on their head for their builds. I think it's gonna work out nicely. Even Hammerdens are probably going to end up wanting this because you can get 8% negative magic res, put one of those nice magic facets in there, bring it up to 18% negative magic res, get 20% faster cast in, +1 to skills. I mean, what's not to like? I mean, Hammerdens also going to be really good for Hammerdens. I can't believe I left that out of my tally earlier. Anyway, as always, if you like the videos, be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. And as always, keep watching.